All right, so it's live now. All right. So yeah, so you're excited. So thanks for coming on, and thanks for coming on for your first blab. I'm really excited about this. So what did I take you away from? Because I know that you were in the middle of a challenge, and I'm actually really excited to hear about the challenge too before we talk about the emails.
Okay. It's over, the challenge. I finished on Sunday.
Well, you're still selling it, right?
Oh yeah. But it's the challenge of making it and putting it up for sale and having the launch, which really wasn't a launch by any means, but that happened on Sunday, which was like, people told me it was a terrible day to launch. It turned out to be an okay day to launch. I mean, I'm still getting sales trickling in, and I don't know how or where, but I'll take it. So,
you got on Product Hunt Live, right?
No.
Did you?
What's that?
I thought I saw that on one of your Twitter.
I just put it on there. So my friend sent me a link and like invited me to be on Product Hunt, which I'd also never heard of. And I was like, okay. So I just put it up, and I don't know. Maybe that's where people are following me. I don't know. I'm just looking at it now. But I don't think any sales came from that, although I don't really know either. So,
well, okay. So wait a minute. So you don't know, you didn't have a list for this, right?
I did have a list. I had the list of 1,600 people that I got from that email satire joke.
Okay. So that's just who you were selling to. I thought this was like a separate, I don't know. I thought you were like selling to other people for this challenge.
Oh yeah. I'm selling to anyone who finds it. So anybody who joined that list, which was, again, I mean, we can go into that because that was like a weird surprise, but that particular, I'm like looking at things are like blinking in my eye because I have Product Hunt up, so I have to turn that off. But that was, so I ended up doing the challenge. I did it in 7 days where I built Asana for Bloggers, this video course, and I did it fast. I mean, I had it done in 5 days, and then I took a day off on Saturday and then actually launched it on Sunday with no marketing plan whatsoever. But during those 7 days, everyone who had signed up for the list for that email marketing thing were getting emails of me updating them what was going on with the challenge. Right. So I would, and that's how I've done I've done 3 challenges now because the site's pretty new. Right. And the first 2 challenges, that's my email strategy. That's my email marketing strategy, which is I first started with 100 people on my list. To be honest, I don't remember how they got on it. I think just like friends of mine or whatever through Facebook or something. And I did this challenge with my friend Jason, and I would send out emails through Gmail. So I'm using Gmail and I'm using MailChimp. So I'm typing the emails in Gmail as if I'm emailing you, and I'm saying, hey, I'm in the middle of this challenge, and I just, finished making the sales videos. Here they are. Let me know what you think. And then I'll email them. I email that out, but that goes to everyone. It goes to all 1,600 people.
Yeah.
And so people like respond to me, and it's not really a marketing thing. Like I don't like have like a nice template. It's really just I'm writing it in Gmail, and I'm just sending it to people saying, sending it. And that's sort of one of my, it's one of my like brand rules, which is I only talk to a single human. I don't talk to like the group. I don't say like, hey, everyone for signing up to the list, thank you for joining. And it's not that. It's I'm talking to you because because that's who I'm emailing. So, so when I send these emails out, I send them out, I think like 3 times during the 7-day challenge, because I'm not going to email you every day and say like, oh, here's what I did next. Yeah. And then here's what I did. I'm like, when I do a bunch of big stuff and, can we curse, by the way? I don't know if that's okay. All right. I don't know if that's a thing. I used to do that a lot in my old show, but so I would send out an email like if I recorded a video, because I do a lot of video updates, and if I like had a bunch of things that I accomplished, and I'm like, okay, now I'll send out a link because there's a lot to read and take in if people want to do that. So they all knew leading up to the launch of the course. Uh-huh. And so when I put that email out, I just said, hey, here's a link if you want to buy the course. Yeah. And it wasn't a sales pitch. It was kind of just like, here it is if you want it.
Right.
You've seen what I've done. Maybe it's just people were just straight up interested in it. So then some people bought it, and it was great.
Yeah.
But I don't know where most of them came from.
You're not
to be
tracking
honest, I have
this?
no idea. No.
No? Why?
No.
Strategically you're not tracking this, or
strategically
didn't want to, or what?
I just don't. It bothers me to track things because I try to set it up. Like I've used to track a lot with my other sites, and then like I would put like Google Analytics tracking on all my stuff, and then Google Analytics are like, oh, we're now Google 360 or there's some other thing, and now all of my tracking links are screwed. And I'm like, well, whatever. I'm not. Yeah. So I kind of. So actually, what happened today? Like I got like a 3 or 4 sales today, just like within an hour.
Nice.
And I'm like, how? And I went and looked at real-time analytics, and there was like 10 people on my site, all from Facebook. And I'm like, how? Who the hell is sharing my stuff? And you can't find out unless you pay like $100 for BuzzSumo or something.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, because I just want to thank them and say, thanks for making me money. You're not going to get any of it, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. But thank you. Yeah. Well, can't you, if it's coming from Facebook, well, because of privacy settings, like people don't want to know other people's business for some reason. You're on social media. Why is there any privacy settings? Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, so many people don't have things private though. Like, I bet if you searched, you might not find everybody.
I did.
Oh, and you couldn't see it still.
I only see my friends. Yeah. I'm like, I know that they posted it. I mean, this came from someone who I have no idea, and I don't know. And even if I did know, I don't know if I could do anything about it. Yeah. So when I do tracking, it's like, if I do any tracking, it's like, I'm only going to track something if once I get the data, I can make a decision on it. So it's like, I come up with a question first, and I'm like, is this working? Is this whatever? And I'm like, all right, let me just track this for like a week and see what happens. And then I usually just don't do anything about it because
well, that kind of makes sense. Well, so I see some people coming in. So, hey, everybody who's in, guys. Well, first I want to tell you, this is Matt's very first blab. So we should welcome him, and, very exciting. And also I was going to tell you guys, if you have questions or whatever, feel free to comment in the comments, or you can call in if you want. Basically, we are going to be talking about his page, which we're going to show you here in a minute, where he got over 1,000 emails. You said it was what, like 1,600 emails or something?
Yeah, I think it ends up being 1,600, and I still get trickles.
Yeah, well,
because people find it and share it.
And it was overnight, and you didn't have an opt-in bribe. So I just love this because I feel like he basically was like, what did everybody say to do? Let me do the exact opposite. And then it's just like worked. So I thought that was super cool. So we're going to be talking about that. But in the meantime, I wanted to get some information from him because he's doing this. He just finished. He was doing a live challenge where he built a course in 7 days.
The challenge was 7 days. I build and launch a course in 7 days.
Launch a course in 7 days. And now we're talking about where his sales came from. But
yeah,
he's not exactly sure. It's a mystery. But there are sales, and that's the important part, right? So, I mean, that's good.
Yeah. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Well, okay. So cool. So, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, though, too, not just, let me tell you how I found your email page, first of all, and why I signed up. Because I didn't sign up because of your email page, actually. But
ooh, tracking data. There you go.
Yeah, here you go. So, I'm in this other group actually with Michelle Warner, and she's here, and she's doing this. It's kind of similar to you. She's building a business, but doing it like in front of everybody, basically, right? Like, so we're in this group, and she's doing this, and she asked for ideas for creative ways to build a list. And it happened to just be that, like, I saw your thing posted somewhere, and I was kind of like joking. I'm like, well, you can do what this guy did. And then she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, I know who that guy is. Like, I follow his stuff. And, so I was like, maybe I should like actually take him seriously. So I went back to your site, and then I saw your podcast rap video, which I saw like months ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, this guy, he like knows how to make things go viral, which is like a really good skill to have. So I kind of wanted to talk about that for a minute, because I'm like, you've now done that like twice where out of nowhere for at least for me, and I think for a lot of people in my circle, have just like popped up into the world like with this like really funny viral thing, and I'm like, oh, what is this? So I'm curious if you have any tips for that, or if you have like kind of a way that you develop this stuff, or how do you do that?
That may be the hardest question I've ever been asked. So man, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, like, that page, that specific email satire pop-up, whatever you want to call it, I was sitting in my office and I was just like, I want to make a page where I just say, give me your fucking email address. Like, that was my original plan. And I'm like, I'm just going to do every pop-up, like every little, because it kind of, those kind of like marketing things piss me off. Like, I don't like it. I do them on some of my other brands, but they piss me off. So I'm going to put them all together in one page. And before I could like think about it too much, I just sat at my computer and I just started typing all the copy that you read on the page. But it was really mean. It was like, I started with like, hey, welcome to this page. Give me your fucking email address. I don't care what you say or what you do. Is if you don't give me your fucking email address, you're an asshole. And like, I went really, and I'm sorry for all the cursing, but like, that's how I did it. And I was writing this like scathing, like, just give it to me. And I had finished it, and then I had put all the pop-ups on. I'd show my girlfriend, and she's like, this is funny. And then I didn't do anything with it. And I kind of walked away from it. And then like a couple days later, my friend Jason, who's on, was like, are you going to do anything with that page? And I was like, yeah, I think I should go back and make it less mean. Cause I think if I put it out into the world, it's like kind of, like, I literally had the F word in like every sentence, but that was on purpose. And so I went back and like took out all the F words, and I, actually designed and created my own pop-ups instead of using like all the plugins, because it was breaking because there were so many on there. So I put that out and I just posted it on one of the Facebook groups, either like Pat Flynn's group or I'm part of a community called FinCon. I posted it on one of them, and it got a lot of comments, and then literally nothing for a day. Like, I think I got like 80 emails in the first day. And I was like, wow, I thought I put it out there, and I'm like, if I get 10 emails from this, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I get 80, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then so then I'm like, so then all of a sudden, like, I start getting all the MailChimp emails, like people are signing up all of a sudden. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I go into like the real-time Google Analytics, and I see that there's like 25 people on my website. And I'm like, and it just says Hacker News. And I'm like, oh, isn't that like, I don't know. I know what Hacker News is. Like, I've heard of it, but I've actually never gone to Hacker News.
Right. Like, you
whatever
didn't
the site.
There.
I did not know. And so I went and I saw it, and there were some comments or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is like Reddit. And then I go back to my analytics, and I see it bump up to like 60 people on my website at one time. And I'm like, well, what? And it says Facebook. And I'm like, what the hell's, and this is where I go back to when I said in the beginning, like, I don't know where this is coming from. So you can't really figure out unless you pay for BuzzSumo, I guess. Cause I just asked, like, people are sharing my thing on Facebook. Like, I want to know who they are, just mostly for curiosity. I don't think I could do anything about it or friend them or whatever. But then all of a sudden I see it go up to like 175, and then like 225 people were on my website at one time. And it was on Reddit, Hacker News. It was on Digital Marketers Facebook group, and a bunch of Facebook. I ended up getting like 2,100 Facebook shares.
Wow. And
yeah, it was a lot. And I ended up getting contacted by the people who run digitalmarketer.com. And apparently like the CEO posted it in like this private Facebook group, and it's all digital marketers. So they all understood the joke. And I think that's where a lot of like my subscribers came from.
Yeah.
So I honestly, like, I expected 10 people, and I got a lot more.
You exceeded expectations. So
yeah. And the podcast rap video was part of my first challenge, where my friend Jason Zook and I took his sponsorship course and rebranded it in 21 days. And part of the marketing plan was like, let's make a rap video about sponsorships. And the original idea was I wanted to have every lyric sponsored by somebody else, or like every, 4 lines sponsored by a company.
Yeah.
But we had 21 days. So that was like quite impossible to pull off.
Yeah.
And so we ended up, I said, I did a podcast rap a few years ago for this conference called Podcast Movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I performed it on stage and did the whole thing. And I was like, I've never made a video for it. We could do that. But there was some contention around that song and the people that run Podcast Movement. So I ended up having to make a completely different song and film an actual video for it. And we put it out. And I don't know how well that did. I know it probably didn't bring us any sales because I don't know, whatever.
Well, I didn't exactly know when I saw the video. I thought it was hilarious, but I didn't know exactly, like, I didn't know who you were and I didn't know what you were selling. Like, so I was kind of, but I was like, well, it's really funny. And then, but I didn't follow up with it because I guess I didn't exactly know. Well, except for the guy in the middle who was like
so we got that video sponsored.
Right.
Yeah. And that's Omar. So we got the video sponsored. We made money there.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
That's a win too. I mean,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Who makes random rap videos about business and sponsors them? Like that's
Yeah, I don't know how many more I could do. I mean, I've done 3 now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's more.
Really? So what are the other ones?
Yeah. So I've been doing rap for a long time, like comedy rap, always. I never tried to be
Not
serious.
Gangster rap.
Never tried to be NWA. I have the very first rap that I did for a business, which was mine. So I run a company called SwimUniversity.com, and I teach people how to take care of their pools and hot tubs. I've had since 2006, and I was like, oh, let me make a pool care rap video because that's insane and no one's ever done that and whatever. And I did that, and that went viral in the pool industry. So like everyone had shared it, like within, like when I go to the conferences, people know me from that video.
Yeah.
And so I did that one first. And then I used to run a podcast called Listen Money Matters. So it's a personal finance podcast. It's me and my friend Andrew. And I thought, oh, I'll do a rap video about personal finance. And we did. But that didn't really take off. That kind of flopped a little bit, at least online. But it got me opportunities to perform it at FinCon, the blogging or the personal finance blogging community. So I ended up being invited to FinCon, which is where I met my girlfriend in New Orleans 2 years ago.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't perform that song because they wanted me to do a parody about blogging to another song. And I was like, I thought you guys wanted me to like come there and perform the song that I wrote about money.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do that. But no, they're like, well, we want you to do it about like personal finance blogging. And I'm like, well, I don't do parody music. Like, I'm not going to take someone else's song because that's what they've done in the years prior, where they took like Bruno Mars songs and like Macklemore songs and put it and made personal finance lyrics to it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. And so I said, can I write my own song? And they're like, yeah. So I ended up writing a song about FinCon and about personal finance blogging and really just about blogging in general. So that's up. There's a video for that. And I crowdsourced that with a bunch of bloggers and personal finance people. And that was all filmed on just, what do you call these things? Webcams.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's the personal finance rap video, which is done in New York. It's black and white. It's not really that funny. And that's kind of why it didn't go viral because it was like, I think the black and white made it serious looking. So people were like, oh, this is really good. I'm like, no, it's funny. Stupid.
Well, in finance, I don't know. How funny is finance? I'm not sure. I guess you can make it funny.
I tried.
It's as funny as podcasting, I guess.
Well, I think we tried really hard because we had a personal finance podcast that was funny.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. So after that, I did. What the hell did I do after that? So I did that video. Oh, I think I did #hustle after that. Right? Yeah. So I have a video called #hustle. It's about what you think it is.
Okay.
It's about entrepreneurs.
So wait, does this have to do with what's that other? You have this other site that I found when I was like snooping around looking at your email site. That was, or the opt-in one. That was like some sort of like like it looked like a prescription drug, but but you like right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's hustling.
Oh, okay. Oh,
that's a different video.
Oh, okay. I didn't see a video. I saw like maybe I missed it.
Yeah. So there's a video I did. It's a minute long. It was one of those I just kind of threw it together. I had this idea where, because I don't like the word hustle, and that's where this all comes from. I think I don't know. I guess I hustle. I don't know, but to me, hustling is like what drug dealers do, and pimps, and pool sharks, and that's what hustling is to me. Right. There's literally a movie called The Hustler, and it's about a pool shark. So anyway, and there's now a car coming out called The Hustler. Did you know that? It's like a Suzuki.
No.
Oh God. Anyway, don't like the word. Okay. So I thought it was really funny to think like your doctor would prescribe you hustling as a like prescription to get shit done.
Right.
And the only line that I had in my head was, ask your doctor if he has a blog and maybe he can give you some business tips. And that was the joke in my head, but it didn't work. And so I wrote this whole like prescription drug for hustling without the G, just with, and I just took a bunch of stock footage from some free website and just, wrote the script, had my girlfriend do the voiceover, and then put it together. It's a minute long and it's dumb, but so there's a web page called Hustlin' that has like all the side effects, and yeah, so I did that. But that's different from #hustle, which is I can actually include that here. Oh wait, is it going to play if I include it? Like in this little drop thing?
You can put it into the comments and then people can see the links, or you could put it into, if you want to play it, then that would be where you share the link where you drop a link in like the call thing.
I don't know if it's worth playing right now, but I will drop it here.
Yeah, put the link up.
Oh, it just gave me a smiley face. Come on, Blab.
That's weird. I don't, you should be able to put a link in there. People put links in there all the time. Try again.
Link. It just gives me a stupid smiley face. All right.
Has it been, I don't know, has it been flagged?
Oh, heads up. Drop-ins won't show in recording or audio archives yet, but we're working on it. Whatever, Blab.
Oh, weird.
Oh, wait, shit. Here it comes. Never mind. I don't want to play it.
If you don't want to play it, you can exit, but.
All right. Anyway, it's a song about hustling.
Well, that's fun. And that one didn't go. Did that go viral too? Did that bring you traffic?
It has like 94,000 views on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah. So you just make stuff and make it go viral, and like that's your thing. Is that your thing?
I guess like I don't try to make it go viral. Like I don't have a like huge audience to, and I don't pay for promotion to force it to go that way. I guess.
Yeah, but you make funny stuff. And if you make funny stuff, people are they don't care if you promote it. They care if it's funny,
And it also doesn't make me any money. So,
well, that's, yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say the email marketing thing actually, inadvertently did.
Yeah.
But you have to make something to sell for it to work. But so I do believe that, and this is a little cocky, but I do believe that I can create things that rank in Google.
Yeah.
Because I've like purposely set out to like rank like number one for certain keyword terms in Google, like even recently, and have succeeded in that.
Yeah.
If I really put everything I have into one thing, which is sort of when I first started Swim University, I was writing really like bad articles. Like I'm not a writer. I've failed every single English class in high school. I dropped out of college twice because of being bad at English.
But you know what? And people who write like they're in an English class are not good at copywriting. Like these things are not the same skill. You know what I mean?
I guess, but I've never studied. Like I'm not good at either. And I don't know.
You're good at copywriting? Your copy's good.
Well, that's what I've been told.
Yeah.
But I didn't like go and study it, I didn't go study it. Well, so I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, I mean, you don't need to have a PhD in copywriting to.
I don't know.
Well, it looks good to me, but okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so what was I saying?
I don't know. You said you can get things ranked. You can get things ranked because I was talking about you like have this knack for just getting things to go viral.
Yeah. Oh, so when I first started Swim University, I was writing these really bad 300-word articles because I was trying to rank for like having a bunch of backlinks and stuff. And This was back in 2006, 2007, 2008. I think in 2008 was when like Panda or one of the like Google animals came out.
Right.
And so I ended up like my site ended up tanking, and then I was like, all right, well, maybe I should start writing good things. But I was never a writer, so I basically sat down and was like, I want to create the one-stop shop for a specific topic. And that at the time, I think it was like pool algae. So like I know a lot of people searched on my website, or I know a lot of people have a problem with pool algae. I've been in the industry for so long. And so I sat down and I was like, all right, I'm going to make the article about pool algae that no one has ever written before. It's literally like, it's long, it's got videos, it's got images, it's got everything I can possibly come up with. Basically like a research paper about algae, but written for a third grader.
Okay.
Because most people are
they need
third graders. Yeah. So I put it out there, and it doesn't rank overnight. And I think in a year, usually it takes like a year and a half for Swim University because it's a seasonal business. So it's not like I can rank for things in like 6 months if people are constantly searching for it. But like if I post something in April, by the time it starts to rank, people are not searching for it anymore. Right. So I don't even know if it's working or not. So, and I don't track any of this stuff, but like all of a sudden the pool algae article was in the first page of Google. And then I was like, oh, so this is how you do it. You just create like the best thing on that topic.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Keyword research is bullshit. It doesn't even matter, because I believe that if I want to rank for pool algae and some people will tell me that that's super niche and like, no wonder you can do that because it's really easy. So I'm like, all right, I really want to try. I mean, I haven't done this yet, but one of the things I've done recently, which is a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, it's a little bit more relevant, is I tried really hard to rank for the term podcast promotion. Right. And I had written a 6,000 word piece on.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, I was just, look, and this is how it worked. That wasn't my intention when I started. I was laying in bed. I think I was sick one day, and I get a lot of questions from people about podcasting because there's still an existing podcast out there. It's pretty successful. And people ask me like, how did you do that? And I get asked all the time. Like they think there's some tactic that I tried to get it out there, and that's not what happened. And so I would end up writing these super long emails to people telling them how I did it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not stuff they really want to hear, but it's all true. And so I ended up just like getting aggravated, because usually when all my good stuff comes out is when I'm pissed off at something.
Aren't you from Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
South Jersey, different. Philly.
Okay. I can like feel this little bit of like
little energy.
Yeah.
Bad energy?
I was born in Jersey, but north. So I have a little bit of the attitude.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry for
no worries
where you came from, but there's so I ended up like writing this article, just super long. I just wrote, and I think it ended up being like 8,000 words, and then I ended up like tailoring it down to 6,000 words, and I published it, and it quickly ranked like within a couple of months. And it's just like I'm like, all right, well, shit, if I can do that, which I thought was a pretty big topic.
Yeah.
I have this idea where I want to really try to rank for like almost impossible keywords, and just as a challenge to myself, like I think.
So you rank that?
I can do that.
Podcast promotion, like in like how
long? So it's been a year, so it takes about 6 months.
Okay, but that's really soon though.
Yeah, I actually looked it up the other day. Podcast.
Do you
promotion.
know Albert Kaufman says they're watching you in class? I don't know if cursing is now an issue or not. I'm not sure what class that is.
So I rank number 1 for podcast promotion right now.
That is awesome. So
if I look at it in a like a, what do you call it? Like a private screen. Wait, someone's watching me in class. What does that mean?
It says it's a class on email marketing. We're watching you in class. There are 7 people here.
What?
And they're learning about Blab. That's fun.
Oh, should we talk about email marketing then?
I'm
talking about SEO now. I don't know.
It all ties together. Would you like to meet everyone? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. How do we do that?
They call in. Do you have a webcam, guys? If you call
Who
in,
doesn't have a webcam?
they're in class. I don't know what they're watching this on.
Show callers. So I just click that?
Yeah, you can do that. You got it?
Click anywhere.
Here, I got it.
Accept.
Hi, Albert.
Hey, guys.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hi from sunny coastal Oregon.
Oregon. Ooh. I heard it's pretty up there. I haven't been, but I want to go. So who's all there? You guys are in an email marketing class?
We're learning today.
Hi, everybody.
Wow.
This is so exciting. See,
cool.
Matt, I told you, Blab, you never know what's going to happen. Like, now you are teaching a class. There you go. So,
okay.
You guys just meet, and what is this, like a private class? Is this at a school, or is this, what is this?
It's a public class at the Hoffman Art Center in Manzanita, Oregon. And this morning we talked about the importance of creating great subject lines. This afternoon after lunch, which will start in a few minutes, we're going to talk about autoresponders and the importance of them. But I've been getting so much out of Blab for the last couple of months that I just had to share with them how it works and just show it to them so they get a chance to go and try it out if they want to.
Cool. Well, are you guys all working on like projects for this class, or like do you guys have businesses?
It's different. It's different people. There are people here from who sell products. There are people here who work for organizations. There are people here who work for the organization that we're sitting in, the Hoffman Art Center. And so everyone's here probably for a little bit different purpose, but they all came because they wanted to learn from me. Yo.
Well,
we're going to take off for lunch, but thank you guys so much. I'm going to come back and watch this later.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for stopping by. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We should probably talk about email marketing now so that he has something to watch later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the goal, but I'm so curious in this other stuff too. But it's all related because, like you said, like you have to get traffic. You were talking about if you get something viral but you're not selling anything, like it doesn't matter. Is it good? What's the point? But it's like it drives traffic and you get people onto your list, and it's all.
I mean, it's
tied together.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's sort of like I have two websites that get traffic. One of them has products, one of them doesn't. So I have another site called roastycoffee.com that does about 35,000 visitors a month. Right. I started it a year ago, and it doesn't make any money from products that I sell. It just makes money from Amazon affiliate links that I include in the posts.
Really? Okay, wait, back up. So I'm curious about this because the Amazon affiliate link thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get that Amazon affiliate links can make you money, but like, is that bringing in like a good amount of money as opposed to selling affiliates with like a specific niche brand or thought leader, like something like that?
Yeah. Last year from Amazon, I brought in 80,000.
Wow. So that's good. And you don't have to follow up a customer service or any back end stuff.
Nope.
Yeah.
The best. And
so that's,
it's funny because last year I moved to Boulder, Colorado, and as of February, you weren't allowed to be a part of the Amazon affiliate program, and then February they changed it, and now you can be. So hooray!
Just in Boulder or
no, in all of Colorado.
In Colorado. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So now you can. So it's almost every state now that you can do Amazon affiliates. But one of the things that I do differently is I created a plugin for my sites where, and I'm going to sell this plugin at some point. I just haven't. I don't want that customer service yet. And I'm not really a coder, all that. So I don't know if I could like fix people's problems, and I don't want to screw up other people's websites. But so the plugin actually taps into the Amazon API and pulls down the data like of that product in every hour. So I put a short code in one of my articles that's like, hey, here's an article about getting rid of pool algae. I'm like, here's, chlorine you should use. And it's chlorine that I choose. So I go into Amazon. I'm like, this is good chlorine. I'm going to put it on there. I put a little short code in the article. And when you load the article up, it goes in the Amazon API. It grabs the image. It grabs the description. It grabs the pricing, and then does the calculations on, how much you save. And then it has a button that says buy now on Amazon. So it converts very well because you're seeing the price on my website. That is the actual price on Amazon that hour.
Right. Real-time price.
Real-time pricing,
right,
yeah.
if they get there and it's different, then they go searching.
Yeah, and I don't want people just clicking the Amazon buttons to leave my site and go and just to go see what the price is. Like that was I was trying to avoid that. So I want that if they do click that link, they're really interested in buying that product because it's like, oh, I know what the price is. I know what this is. This has been recommended to me by this authority site. And I don't put like, there's not a bunch. There's a few per article, depending on what kind of article it is. Yeah.
Now, do you, because we were talking about email marketing and whatever, do you also sell your affiliate stuff via email marketing or it's all?
I don't.
No. So do you even collect emails on that site?
I do. I collect emails on SwimU and Roasty, and SwimU gets right now I think I have like 230,000 visitors a month, which is a lot. It's been around for a long time.
That is a lot, especially for what it is. I mean it's a niche site, but I don't know, pool care, I guess it's a lot of people need it, right?
A lot of people need it,
but it's probably, is it low competition?
Probably. I mean, no one has
marketing or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And really no one has tried to touch me at this point.
Yeah.
Physically, like no one. Stupid. Okay. I don't know, because I guess you can't put links in here, right? So
I don't know. Last week you could.
All right. Well,
this week you can't. So who knows? I don't know. Blab is new. Sorry.
I don't know. Okay. So yeah, Swim University. I do collect email addresses on there because I do have an autoresponder series because I do sell digital products. I sell a hot tub handbook, which is a downloadable PDF that I sell through Gumroad. And then I have the Art of Pool Care, which is a downloadable PDF also through Gumroad. And the site, I collect around 100 emails a day on it because I get so much traffic.
So now on Money Labs, you look like you're very against the opt-in bribe. What about on
Money Lab?
Yeah. What about on the other two? Do you have opt-in bribes there?
So many of them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. In fact, all right. So I can tell you a little bit about that because Money Lab is my personal brand.
Yeah.
And I don't want that stuff on there. And it's kind of the opposite. I personally don't like it.
Yeah.
But I know it collects email addresses.
Right.
And especially like this particular audience, like I do want to provide them free stuff. And it is an opt-in bribe, and I am very specific about those bribes. And what do you call them? Opt-in bribes, right? Is that what you just call them?
Yeah, I call them that, but
and it sounds so terrible.
Bribe, whatever.
So what I do is I used to do it on my own, but then I found out that SumoMe was free, and I'm like, all right, I'll try this. And I put it on my website, and I am right now I have an article called it's like how to get rid of cloudy water or whatever. It ranks #1 for cloudy pool on Google, right? Gets a ton of traffic a day right now. And it just happens to be that time of year when it gets a ton of traffic because everyone's trying to clear their cloudy pool. And so I created a guide, a very short guide that's like, here's how to, get rid of your cloudy pool, but like broken down. Like the article is pretty long, but this is like a super condensed, like here's step-by-step exactly what you need to do, no other stuff. And so I have a pop-up that comes up on that page that says, do you have a cloudy pool? Download the guide, enter your email address. But when they enter their email address, it takes them to a thank you page that they can download all of my guides. So I have like a bunch of different little mini guides for all types of stuff, like opening up your pool, closing your pool, algae, cloudy water. There's an article about, or there's a guide, like a free chapter in my books. There's a buyer's guide. There's a downloadable like pool sheet. There's a whole kinds of stuff. And whenever you sign up, you can get all of them. And they're just PDFs that I keep on like a Google Drive or something. So that's publicly shared. And so I do specific content upgrades or specific content, bribes, depending on what they're reading. So I keep a very detailed spreadsheet of what pop-ups are happening on which pages.
Right.
So that's...
So you track things.
No, I just... Well, no, I don't track so the program itself, SumoMe, tracks, how many pop-ups are happening and whatever. But the only thing I try to do is make sure that the pop-up is converting at least over 1%.
Okay.
That's the only thing I actually try to do. If it doesn't, then it's not niched down enough. So I have like two it's hard. Can I like share a screen, I guess? Or
yeah.
Like she can see me like.
Put the link in the bottom where it says the option, the lock seat, and the purple thing. Do you see that?
Well, it's not a link. It's just like my screen.
Oh.
Oh, so probably not.
Then I don't.
Seat is lock, unlock seat. Okay. Well, either way.
I don't think so.
So anyway, I just do very specific content upgrades on specific posts on Swim University, and I don't track specifically. I just track what pop-ups are happening on which pages. Mm-hmm. So if I notice that there's a particular article on my website that's getting a ton of traffic, like right now, there's an article that's called like how to keep ducks and birds out of your pool, which is a big problem in the spring. I can create a guide specifically for that. It's like, I can create the, 5 more ways to get ducks and, other birds away from your pool or something. I'm not going to do that, but I could do that and then say, okay, I'm going to put it on this particular page so that when people visit that page and there's a pop-up that comes up and says, oh, that's perfect, I want to download that. And so the reason I'm collecting those email addresses is because I have an autoresponder series that goes out. There's 10 emails. And it takes the course of 30 days. Mm-hmm. And it's like basically a crash course in pool care. So I assume that everyone's a new pool owner, whether they've had their pool for whatever, it doesn't matter time. Because otherwise I don't want to segment all those people. Like everyone can be treated as a new pool owner. Right. And so I give these, like, I have 10 emails and they're all on a very specific topic and they're all stuff that I've written, and it's a full article basically per email. And it's helpful, it's just straight up helpful. And then I include 2 soft sells per autoresponder. So on my website, you can either be classified as a pool owner or a hot tub owner. And so let's just say you're a pool owner, you get, you go to download the guide on like how to clear cloudy water, you get put into the automation funnel, and you get a couple of emails, throughout the week or throughout the month that say, here's how to troubleshoot all different things. Here's how to get rid of this. Here's how, here's how to think of chemistry differently. And here's how to do lean pool care and all these different articles. And within those articles, I'll say, this is an excerpt from my book, The Art of Pool Care, and I'll link to it and they can go buy it. So that's a soft sell. I'm not saying go buy this thing. Right. I'm just saying this came from this. And so this is helpful. And then I have a hard sell in like the 7th or 6th email where that email is basically just, that email is like, buy this book.
Right.
And it's, there's no discount. It's just like, hey, I have this book, buy it. And then I do another soft sell. And then once that 10-part email series is over, they get weekly emails every week. So they're getting a new article every week. And at the bottom of those articles is my book's here.
So are you creating new content for this site? Like how regularly? Every week you're creating new content. And that is the content that goes out in your autoresponder? Or do you have them set on like a track where they start the same place and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the autoresponder is set. It's 10 emails. And once you get through that, you're done. Yeah.
Okay. And then they jump in live.
And then they're getting the updates. Now, so I've been creating new content. I've been hiring people to help me create new content for a year now, a little over a year. And so we created an article every week about pool care and an article every week about hot tub care. So we're doing 8 articles a month. Sometimes they're videos from me, and sometimes there's our articles I write. Sometimes it's, the team that writes it or whatever.
So wait, I have a few questions. So what, you were talking about the importance of really long form content when ranking, when you're trying to rank fast. Is all of your new content, is it all, because, a lot of people are like 500 words done, like keep it 500, 800 words. And that's a lot of what people recommend. And I don't know if I necessarily believe in that, but I'm curious to see what you're finding as far as what ranks better.
Okay. So it depends on the type of content you're creating. And I hate the word content, by the way.
Okay.
Articles.
Okay.
Just say article. Okay. So written articles. This is what we're talking about. Okay.
Okay.
So let's just say that you are doing an article about how to keep ducks and birds out of your pool.
Yeah.
Which is a small topic. Like it does not need to be like explained to death. It just
don't need a whole
people
book
just want to know, right?
Yeah.
And also, there's probably not a lot of information on the internet about that specific thing, right?
Okay.
So I just believe when you're talking about small topics, going overboard with explaining those topics can actually, I mean, I'm sure you'll rank and that'll be great, but it's like you don't need to go that far. But when you talk about, like, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take a topic and they'll write like 15 or 20 different posts on that topic, on that same topic.
Right.
My school of thought is take those 20 posts and make one long one.
Right.
Which I do from time to time. I've gone through my site at certain points. I'm like, I have like 6 articles on pool pillows, which are like inflatable pillows you put in the middle of your pool when you close an above ground pool. The smallest, tiniest little thing in pool care. I have 6 articles on it.
Yeah.
They're all saying the same friggin' thing.
Right.
And I'm like, this is dumb. And that was like earlier when I was writing just like bullshit articles. And so I took all of those articles, put them in like Evernote or something, or a Google Doc or something, and just like removed all of this like repetitive stuff and took like, I don't know, like just, and I added to it. And so I made one big ass article about pool pillows, and I called it like Pool Air Pillow. And I'm just curious now, like Pool Air Pillow on Google. Let me see if I rank anywhere.
So you're basically
not.
you're
First
basically
page.
repurposing your old content, right? Because it's not
Sometimes.
this like new live article. So it's like put it all together. Makes sense. Well, and I noticed you're doing that on Money Lab too, because you're every week when you're updating your challenge, like you're not making a brand new blog post.
That was on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, you're adding to it.
Yeah. So with Money Lab's a whole different animal. Like,
that was my next question. I want to know kind of what you're seeing the difference between these super niche sites versus like, because I feel like a lot of advice comes from just people who are doing online marketing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, and it doesn't like, so I used to have an e-commerce site and I sold physical things like products, and it just was completely different. I felt like between like all these people who are only talking about making money online versus, well, I'm talking to people who are not like brides who are getting married, like completely different. And a lot of it was just not, a lot of what they said were, this is what you need to do, was just like not different things were working. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious to see how it differs when you're working with Money Labs versus either Roasty, right, or Swim You. Either
it's
one.
Totally different.
Totally different. Well, what are some of the key differences?
Well, I mean, it's not even that it is different, but like I choose to make it different. Whereas like, so when I first set out to do Money Lab, it actually started as a whole different idea, and then it ended up evolving into like, I just want to make money, because I had a personal finance podcast, and I was never afraid to say, look, the reason I do this online entrepreneurial stuff, and everyone's like, oh, you know, follow your dreams, follow your passion, I think it's all bullshit. It's like, no, that's just no. Instead, like, the reason you're doing this is to make money. That's it. I'm sorry. My passion is cooking. I'm not a chef. That would be, I would kill myself if I was a chef. I'd be sweating all day in a shitty kitchen, cutting onions. I'm not doing that. So follow your passion. Bullshit. I don't like it. So I don't like a lot of things. This is my South Jersey and it's coming out. Yeah.
It's okay.
I don't like blab. It sucks. No. So I think, so Money Lab was like, I just want to do this stuff. I want to like do online businesses, but my interests change all the time. Like when I was a kid, like I did all kinds of stuff. Like I got into like drawing, I did guitar, I did drums, I did bass, I did all these different like things because I would get bored of a thing and I would move on. And so same with my online business stuff. It's like I did Swim You for a really long time, but during that, like I even tried making I actually made a social network for dogs called Dog Barks. And it's not out there at all, but I never launched it. But it like I was doing all these little side projects on top of Swim University, but Swim University was the one that was always making money. And the other thing too, like I did List of Money Matters, and that wasn't making any money. And there was Swim U. I just kept coming back to Swim U, and so my interest always changed. So I created Money Lab because I want it to do those things. I want it to say, I'm an online builder of things. I want to make money doing it because that's what we all really want, but no one's willing to say it, at least not everybody. And I'm just going to show you my process, and I'm not going to teach you anything because honestly, no one knows. No one knows anything about anything at all. It's mostly online business, mostly marketing, all that kind of shit. No one knows. And so if anyone emails me, like I have these rules that they're on my site, but I also have them like behind the scenes. And so if anyone emails me on Money Lab who asks me like, oh, what do you think of this idea? Or what do you think I should do here? And my answer is, I don't know. Go try it and tell me about it. Because I'm not going to sit there and give you advice on what to do. The only thing I've given advice on so far is someone's like, do you think I should quit my job and start a business? I go, I don't know, but yeah, go ahead. I'm like, is that irresponsible? I don't care. Like you just want me to give you permission to go do it. So go do it. You know? So I'm just like, so Money Lab is, I'm just going to make shit. You're going to follow it because the reason it started was I always liked, like if I listen to a podcast and it was, somebody was a business owner, but they were interviewing other entrepreneurs, I would only find the value when the person who was doing the interviewing, like the host, like actually said their numbers, like actually said, like, oh, my website gets 230,000 visitors a month. And I would pick that out, and then it would sit in my pocket, and then I'd listen to more episodes, and I'd start picking out all of the stats and all of the details about their thing, and I can paint a picture in my head of who that entrepreneur really is. And there's been other entrepreneurs, I hate the word entrepreneur too. There's been other like online business owners who have like, I'm going to make a thing and I'm just going to tell you how I do it. I'm going to show you everything. Those posts, those articles have been the most like interesting to me. So one of the things that I obviously, I do music and stuff and from all my rap videos. So I'm really into like finding out all right. As an example, I was listening to this band, The Story So Far, and their drums, the drum mix in this one album in particular, I thought was so good. I used to work out to it because it was just like everything was just like really kick. And I was just like, man, I would love to know how this was done. And so, or just who did it. So I Googled, The Story So Far, the name of the album, producer. And I found this guy, I forget his name now, but he had a course on Creative Live about recording drums, and it was $45. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. Like I just bought it. Right. And I just sat there on a Sunday afternoon, just watching this guy for like 4 hours talk about tuning a snare drum and like how he like doubles up the bass kick with like all these different samples. And to me, that was the most, I'm never going to do that. Like, I'm never going to actually go and like record drums in this like small space, but just watching him just talk about how he recorded drums on that album was the best like 4 hours I've ever spent. And it was the best $45 I ever spent because it was just like, I could just sit here and watch this guy talk about this all day. And I ended up buying the one he did one for guitars. And I'm like, well, the guitars sound good too. So like, I want to know that. That was another $45. I'm like, sure, absolutely. Yeah. And then I realized like, I just love behind the scenes stuff. There's
like a reality TV show. Okay, wait, hold on. So I'm going to interrupt real quick. Like, I totally see this progression in internet marketing, which is the same progression that we saw in television, where TV started with it just being like, maybe like news or, things were a lot more boring, whatever. We progressed a little bit to like some live things like sports or something. And then we started getting into more entertainment. And then now we're at reality TV. And I feel like internet is going the same way. Like it started out with just, if you searched on the internet and like in the 90s, well, you got some colorful, crazy neon lights probably and some weird text. But like it's evolved so much to now we're definitely seeing a lot more of this authenticity reality stuff.
Yeah, but I feel a lot of people try to do that and it's just they're just fooling themselves. It's not really, it's just like, look, I think there's just one thing about being transparent, because anyone can be transparent, and that's really not what I'm trying to do. I'm not saying like, oh, here's just all of my numbers, like just here you go. What I'm doing
a story a little bit better than that.
So that is, I think, the biggest difference is, and that's sort of, and this is one of my thoughts of why my podcast took off so well, because I had started the podcast knowing jack shit about money, and I was in debt, and I had, low credit and just bad. And we started the podcast, and I progressed as a person throughout the whole year we did it. And people were following my story, because it's like, he's us, right? We're listening to this because Matt embodies who we are. And he's saying these things like, oh, I don't give a shit about investing. And, oh, I feel the same way. So what is he going to do? And so they saw me go from, pretty bad with money to like actually, like, now they want my advice about it because I actually went and did it. And there's this progression. And I never taught personal finance. I never said, here's the stock you should invest in, or here's how I do it. And I would just, not here's how I do it, but here's how to do it.
Right.
I would just say, this is what I did. I'm going to tell you the story from when I started to when I finished. And that's the end of that. And so I actually don't think it's moving into reality, because I don't want to compare what I do to reality television, mainly because, well, I put a lot of production into what I do, and reality television is just like no talent assholes like on camera just screaming at each other. I am not that. I'm not talentless. I have something that I want to say. I have a point of view, and I am telling a story just in a very honest way.
Right.
And I'm being transparent just because that was what's going to make the story. It's not because it's because I don't put up income reports just like with no context. Like, oh, here's how much I made this month.
Yeah.
That's not helpful. It really isn't. Like, you can read those things all day and just get like sad, because you read them. You're like, wow, that guy made like $100,000 in a single day. Like, well, I don't.
That's not gonna happen for me.
I don't like, like, how do you do that? How do you do it? And it's like, I don't. I want. When I set out to do Money Lab, I thought, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to put a time frame on it, and I'm not going to make it about money, which is backwards. So like, my original thought was, I'm going to do a course, and I'm going to try to make $10,000 on that course. Like, that's my challenge.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that sucks, because then like people are going to search for that and think I made $10,000. Like, when they search for that headline, they're going to be like, build a course and make $10,000 was my challenge title. Well, people are going to search that and go like, oh shit, yeah, he did. And that's not what I did. I ended up I may end up not doing that, or I may end up doing better than that. It doesn't matter. So I'm like, what's important is the time frame. It's like, I'm going to build something, or I'm going to try to sell something in a matter of days, right? Or a matter of months, or whatever time frame. So that's the title of the post. It's like, the chances, can you do this in a certain number of days? And because you have that constraint is, you have to cut corners. You have to decide like, hey, look, we can, like, when we did the first challenge, when I did the first challenge with Jason, it was like, we had actually finished everything in 14 days. And I was like, wow, this is actually pretty easy. I was surprised. And then it's like, well, I'm not done. I still have 7 more days. And we're like, let's make a rap video. Like, that's super difficult to do in 4 days, which is how I ended up taking like 5 days to do. And it's like, and it was really difficult, but that's what made the storyline. And like, yeah,
was like thrown together. It's impressive,
right? And it's not about money. It wasn't about money. Like, we're not, I'm transparent with what we made, right? And like, I'm doing that on every post. Like, the second challenge I did, I tried to sell sponsorships on Roasty, which is a brand new site. I've never reached out to the coffee industry before. The challenge was kind of boring because it was just me reaching out via email to other companies. I tried to make it as interesting as possible. I made $0.
Oh,
I made absolutely nothing in 28. And I had to do it in 28 days because I needed time to follow up with people. And I had a really aggressive sales pitch, and I had a really aggressive high priced item, because I was I was trying to make 10,000 in a month. I ended up making 0,000 in the month. And
do you think if you do you think if you would have stepped back and like kind of followed what you were doing publicly by not putting that number out there and just being like, let me just see what I can get in this time, do you think you would have made anything, or do you think it was the aggression or
no? So I never put out there that I wanted to make, I think I may have said I wanted to make $10,000, but I'm like, I don't care. I'd be happy to make anything. But it wasn't the 10,000. I mean, I guess the 10,000 really hurt because I knew that like, so the price point I had for that particular challenge was I was selling a $5,000, package.
Yeah.
Or sorry, $2,000 package.
Still.
So I was like, I only need to sell 5 of these to meet my goal.
Right.
And I thought like, I have 60 leads. I think I can do this. And it turns out I did not do it, but I tried hard. And I was like, I mean, there was points where I wanted to give up. I'm like, this sucks. No one's responding. Like, and I was trying to be as honest as I could about that. Like all of like how much I hated the challenges I was going through it.
Yeah.
Because it really did suck. And there's a little bit of like drama in it. There's sometimes, I mean, like the Asana course was pretty easy. Like this is, for sure. Like, cause I had 7 days. I knew exactly, like I've been using Asana for a while. So like I knew what I wanted to do. And I'm very confident in like creating videos and I know how to use Gumroad and I knew how to use all the technology. Right. I'm like, all right, well, all I have to do is this. And I'm like, all right, well, if I only have 7 days, like, how do I do this? Like, I could have gone and like set up my own like login screen and like made it like a course where like you pay $99 and maybe you get it sent out every month, or maybe it's some other type of format. And I'm like, well, if I have 7 days, I'm just putting all the videos on Gumroad and putting up a link on a landing page and calling it done. Yeah. And so,
well, that constraint though, it seems like it really helped you. Like, because so many people make courses forever because
and then sometimes they never finish.
Right.
Like
I mean, it's
take
just
years to sit on it. Yeah.
So I think 7 days is like, I mean, that's key.
Well, when I did Money Lab, like I didn't even like, I've always said that I've always focused on creative constraint because, for instance, when I first did my pool care rap video, I was sitting down and I was I don't listen to rap music, to be honest, and I don't really watch rap videos.
Okay.
I mean, I listen to The Roots and like Jurassic 5 and that's kind of it. And so I ended up like going and watching all these rap videos and I'm like, cause I really wanted to like make fun of like, I'm a pool boy. So the idea was like, I'm a pool boy, but how can I portray myself as like a gangster pool boy? So like, could I get like a pool truck with like an El Camino with like this, like thing sticking out of the back, but it like has risers and, so I had all these ideas and I was watching all these rap videos to see like just the style and how they did everything. And I like started writing down these ideas and I'm like, this is going to be the most epic shit ever. Like this is going to blow people away. And then I'm like, I don't have a big crowd of like people that could like do chants with me. I can't pull that together. I don't have an El Camino. I don't know anybody with an El Camino. I don't want to pay money to rent an El Camino. Like there was all these things. And I'm like, okay, Matt, you have 2 days to do this. So now take that script that you wrote or take those ideas and say, what can I actually accomplish in 2 days?
Yeah.
Sorry, the El Camino joke has to go, having a crowd of people has to go. Like all of this has to get filmed in a backyard. You have 1 day to film, you have another day to edit, so I ended up like borrowing my neighbor's truck and borrowing a glide cam to do some of the shots that I wanted to do. And I did it in 2 days. So literally like filmed it 1 day, edited it the next day, and it was done.
Yeah.
And I think, and I sat there, I think I literally said out loud in my office, like, you have 2 days, Matt. And I think I was looking in a mirror or something. So it's like, when you do that, it's just like, to me, I've done that for everything, even like hashtag hustle. Hashtag hustle, when I did it, I had so many ideas. And I'm like, all right, you have 2 days or you have a week. So what can you realistically do in 7 days? Because otherwise I could, like people who make courses and just sit on it, I could have just sat on it for whoever knows how long.
Wouldn't be done now, that's for sure.
Right. And so when I started Money Lab, like the original plan was to have money constraints or money goals, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm going to try to make X amount of dollars. Instead, it's like, no, I'm just going to try to finish this thing in 30 days, or I'm just going to try to finish this thing in 2 weeks or whatever it is. So it really like so one of the things that with Money Lab is I just want to finish shit. I just want to get things done and out in the public and for sale.
Yeah.
Right. I really don't care if I make money because it's fueling my interests in other ways.
Right.
And I really enjoy like the strategy of trying to do something in a short period of time and do it at the best possible quality that you can.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. Like I had always found it interesting to watch other people or have them just tell me the story about, hey, I did this course or I did this, you know, I was trying to sell this one. All right. There's like an example of, I had an ex-girlfriend whose dad wanted to start his own business. And he was currently in the business of like selling like those scooters for old people.
Okay.
Like hover rounds or whatever. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the Rascals. So what he did was he just went and got business cards with his name and a company and a phone number.
Uh-huh.
And that's all he invested. And he just went out and like,
did he sell it?
Just started. That's how he started his business, was just with a pack of business cards that he got from like Vistaprint, and just started like going door to door to like old customers, or like he hustled, to be honest. Like he actually went out and like sold.
Hustling isn't always a bad thing. I mean,
it's not a bad thing, but I think it's a bad thing when it's, I mean, and sometimes I don't know, whatever, but he really did like go out there and like sell. And I thought like, all right, that's a great story because he had a constraint, which was I have no money. I have this, and I have to build a business in 30 days or my family doesn't eat. Yeah. Right. And when you're left with that, so that's kind of how I approached getting into this full time, which was, and it reminds me, and I've always kept this with me, which is this Conan O'Brien quote, which I think Mark Maron asked him, like, what's the secret to success? And he says, it's giving yourself no other option. So, and that's what I told this guy who emailed me. He was like, oh, should I quit my job and do this? I'm like, yes, quit your job. Because then you won't be calling me all the time or emailing me all the time. Like, what do I do? I'm like, you got to make it work now.
Gotta do something.
You got to do it now. And what's the worst case? You go get another job. Like you just go get a job at like Starbucks. I mean, there's a fucking million of them. So sorry, anger. So there's what I always kept that quote, and that's why I remember. I don't remember a lot of quotes. In fact, that's like the only one I got. And it's because, you just don't give yourself a choice. You have to make it work. And so when I quit, or I didn't quit, I got fired. And I was like, all right, well, now this is time for me to make this work. And my mom's like, well, eventually you have to get a job. I'm like, no, I'm not going to get a job. This is it. Like, I'm doing this. She's like, well, and like literally didn't believe in me the entire time until I had to tell her, like, Mom, I make money now. Do you want me to fly you out to Colorado? Like, I'll pay for your plane ticket. And she's like, no, you don't have to do that. It's like, because I did it. Like, I made it. It's because I had no other option. I'm like, I would much rather live with my parents. I mean, I always had that, right? I always had somebody to live with. Yeah. I mean, like, and to me, that was always the worst case is, the worst case is I tried really hard to build a business and I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to keep trying to make money on my own without having a boss. And that was really the only thing. Was it's not about building a business. It's just about not having a boss. Because I hated having a boss. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter if I'm freelancing and doing like odd jobs here and there, or if I actually have a legitimate business that's like I got to pay taxes on and, it's got, money coming in and out. But I just didn't want a boss. And the worst case scenario for me was I moved back in with my parents, which at the time when I first started, I had a BMW, I had a car, I had a good job. BMW. I had a condo that I owned, still own, and a good job. And then I was like, let go. And I sold the BMW, rented out my condo, moved in with my younger brother, and paid like $500 in rent, and lowered my expenses from like $5,000 a month to $1,000 or like $1,200 a month. And was like, this is it. The next step, if I don't do this, if this doesn't work, I move in with my parents and I don't have that $500, I have less money that I have to put out. So it's like, I'm going to keep doing this until eventually I'm going to make it work. Yeah. And it took a year and a half to do. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, except for your emails that happened overnight. But right. And well, I had that. Yeah. So I had success with traffic before like leaving, and I've started. It just wasn't a business.
Right.
I just had traffic. It's
Right.
like, all right, well,
You had a website.
I had a website.
Yeah, not a business.
People came to it. People liked it, but it didn't make any money.
Yeah.
So now I had to like, all right, so how do I make this make money? And that was when I ended up building the plugin to get Amazon affiliates.
That plugin is really cool, and I wish you would sell it because I don't know. That sounds very useful.
It's probably going to be one of my challenges because it's like I've never sold software.
Yeah.
Not that I really want to.
Yeah. Well, can you outsource any aspect of that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not that difficult of a plugin. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's probably what I'll end up doing because I don't want to be involved in the customer service of it. Because like, what if it breaks and somebody's like, "Oh shit, my website crashed."
Yeah.
I'm like,
And plus, like, talk about not having a boss. If you are the customer service call center, whatever, like that's worse than having a boss because that's 24/7. You're like on call. So that doesn't sound like fun. Well,
for sure.
We passed the hour, which I didn't want to do to you, and I am so sorry. But
it's fine.
Before we go, I want to give everybody an option. If you have anything for Matt, if you have any questions or anything like that, and I know a lot of you came in toward the end. We talked about how he got these 1,000 emails, probably around the 20-minute mark. So if you want to go back and watch the replay after we're done, it's right around there. I didn't want to make him repeat everything again. But I think, do you want to sum that up? Like your strategy? I feel like your strategy is have fun, make things that people like. I don't know.
No.
Do you have any other strategy?
It's have fun and make things that you like.
Oh, okay.
Because now I say that because that's actually the first tip in my podcast promotion is make a show for you. Make it self-serving. Every successful podcast that I know wasn't to build an audience. It was to make a show that they could hang out with their friends or they could talk to fellow comedians to find out, there was all a self-serving purpose.
Yeah.
And that's Listen Money Matters too. It was self-serving. I wanted a show for 30-something-year-old males who drank beer and didn't know jack shit about money. And that's the show we created. And it gained a lot of popularity. And it's and it's only because I would feel good making it as a person who wants to appeal to that. And it is for me. There's got to be other people in the world like me, just like Money Lab. I thought, I really enjoy behind the scenes stuff. So I figured other people have to like behind the scenes stuff too. I watched there's this group called the Chainsmokers, and they have a couple of hits right now, like EDM kind of stuff. And they have a video on YouTube where they talked about how they made an entire their song Roses. And it's basically just him sitting at his computer showing you Ableton Live, the program he used to make it. And it's just him trying to recreate the song. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is the best. And no one cares. I'm sure there's a very few people who are looking at this going I don't understand why I'm watching this. But if you're in it, if you understand a lot of the technologies that he's using, it's fascinating. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what I'm doing with Money Lab is I'm just going to assume you understand the world of entrepreneurship and online business and website building and all that kind of stuff. And even if I don't, I'm going to do other things. If I'm assuming you understand that already. So when I go into here's how I use Adobe After Effects to make lower thirds, it's a little technical and I'm just walking you through how I do it. But the people who are semi interested in it would say, that's cool. I just wanted to know how he did it. I just wanted to see the magic trick.
Yeah.
And
they can pick it up too if you're in that world.
Yeah. And I'm not going to focus entirely on online business. I have a plan. I don't know when. It might be sooner than later, but I'm thinking about trying to create a rap, trying to write and produce and sell a rap album in 30 days.
Wow.
12 songs, put it up, get it on iTunes, do promotion.
Oh my gosh.
Get featured
That's
people.
Scary to me.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to be 60 days. But yeah, I'm going to have to put a time frame on it. I don't care how much it makes, but I think that it has really nothing to do with online entrepreneurship or blogging or any of that shit. But I think that
there's got to be creatives out there who.
Oh, absolutely.
That.
And but see, I want to do it because I know people who are musicians, and I know people who, you know, create music and are really struggling with like trying to make a name for themselves out there. And I'm not doing that. So I'm going to say, look, I'm going to do it to show you that it actually doesn't have to be that hard, or maybe, and who knows, I could get super lucky and I could get signed. I mean, I tried for a very long time in my previous life to get signed as a rock star. Like I went through like 6 years of like playing shows, touring the country, writing songs, recording albums. Like I tried very hard to be a rock star, that and obviously did not work out. But I want to like kind of try to do it again, but in a very short time frame, you know, using what I know now to do it. So I think that would be helpful. I think it would just be an interesting story to see like someone say, I've never done this before, but maybe it's possible, but maybe it isn't. And even if it isn't, to be like, wow, at least he actually did something and made it, and it made something that's I can listen to if I want to. Yeah. And I kind of like, I don't want to fail, but I do think the failure is like, you know, it's kind of, you know,
well,
good.
I mean, even if you fail, like if you fail at say the rap video thing in 30 days, it's not like
rap
somebody
album.
An album. Sorry. Yeah. Cause you did a rap video in like 4 days, which is insane.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to replicate that, I mean, even if they couldn't do it in 30 days, I'm sure there's a lot of motivation and just, you know, seeing how you did it, they can do it in 60 days. A failure
or 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't mean well, no one can ever try this again because it's absolutely not going to work.
And it's funny, like people, and that may seem naive, but when and my example is, you watch this Chainsmokers video of this guy's like building this song. It's very, very popular behind the scenes. You watch them do it. He said it took them 8 hours to make this song from start to finish, like with the singer mixing, like actually creating the song, the hook, 8 hours, and they have a hit song. It's it doesn't take that long if you, and his philosophy, and he's like a kid. So his philosophy is like, I make my songs simple. Like I like simplicity in my music. Personally, that's what I like too. And having the time constraint forces you to be simple. Like you really can. And I was always surprised that like, it was like, you know, bands or even like artists take a long time to come out with a new album or any new material. Like, I mean, I'm listening. One of my favorite bands is Brand New, and they hadn't come out with anything for like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. And they just released like a single yesterday, and like the internet blew up. And so I'm like, why can't these guys come out with an album every year? Like, why can't that be a business model for any art? And I'm sure there's an artist, and I'm sure there's people out there. Like even Radiohead just came out with an album. It has been like 10 years or some shit. So it's like, but why can't an artist come out with an album? I mean, imagine your favorite artist like came out with an album every year. It would be the best. I had friends. There's this group called Man Overboard. I think they're breaking up out of my hometown. They came out with an album every year while they were out. And I'm like, this is great. There's like 6 or 7 albums I can listen to. And I absolutely don't mind paying, you know, $20 to hear their stuff when it comes out. Cause it's like, I'm going to get something new every single year. And what if that was every 6 months? I know it's a lot of content, but
yeah.
I don't know
that's
if you're
going to be hard. Like for me, cause I'm not creative that way. I don't think that way. Like I can write a ton of stuff really, really fast, but I can't, like if you told me to write a book in that time period, I'd be like, no problem. But I'm like a album, like I'm probably going to take 5 years and it's still going to be crappy because it's just not what I do.
So for me, the book thing would take a long time because that's not my talent. Well, but that's going to be one of my challenges too. Like the challenge is, can you get a publishing deal in 30 days, or can you get a publishing deal in like some time frame, some short time frame? So it's like, you have to put together a book. You have to put together a proposal. Like you have to do it you have a limited time frame. Like you just have to get it done. And I think when you do that, you find creative solutions to kind of fit it in and kind of get it done. And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, I have a book, I have a publishing deal. Oh my God. Like it just kind of, because you're just so focused on that one thing.
Yeah. And so, like what you said, when you have no other option, you have to make it work. Because that's what you got to do. So I don't know how to say this name, but it takes an artist 3 years to get a 6-song EP. So when the EP is promoted, the band plays the 6 songs like second nature.
Yeah, I was in a band. We had 2 EPs and a full length, and it took us. Well, I mean, I had like before the band even started, we had 4 songs, and so we had 4 songs. We would tour, we would play shows all over Philadelphia and like Jersey and stuff, and we knew them like the back of our hand. It's like, and to me, it's like I'm bored. Like I don't want to do. And then you ask Tom York, like he doesn't play half the songs that he hates all of his songs because he's just like, I hate doing this. It's like I want something new. So you constantly write new shit. I will admit though that kind of sucks for the audience because you create you create an album and you put it out, and then like everyone comes to see your show and they're like, yeah, play that song, and you're like, I'm gonna play stuff you've never heard before and you can't sing along. And then you just like, well, why the fuck did I come and see this band? Like, and I used to do this all the time, and now I totally regret doing it. But Adam Durst from Counting Crows, I've never seen one of his shows, but I had a bunch of friends that were fans, and every time they went to go see a show, he would completely change the lyrics and completely change the way he sang every song every night, like every time, because he was so bored with like singing it to the radio version that he would change it. And so like people would go see the show, and I know he had fans and people came and see his shows and stuff, but they're like, you can't sing along because he's gonna change it. And that's how I did it. Like when we played shows, like I would change stuff because I was getting so bored with it. But like if I were to go back and do it, I would, like when I do the rap stuff in public, and I've only done it like once or twice, but like I'm literally doing it exactly how it is on the video or how it is like recorded, because people can sing along to it. If you change the inflections, like that's why I hate listening to live albums. So it's like live albums are just like, I don't know. It's just, they're not fun. It's like you want the recorded professional version, and then you want to go see the show where they play it exactly that way. And it's going to be the best concert of your life. I've seen, and I really like what bands are doing now, where they're just going on tour and they're playing like their old albums, like in a row and perfectly. That is the best show to go to.
In a row, and just like, wow.
I went to this band, Starting Line, and their first album that came out, or not their first album, but they're like their first full length. Huge fan of it, loved the album. And then they like 10 years later, they did a reunion show where they played it. I mean, exactly like that. Everyone in the crowd like knew every word and could all sing along, but also he was singing. So like, it's like it's like listening to an album with a bunch of your friends and everyone's got the same energy. It's just the best. It's a really, really awesome experience. And so few bands do it, but
I didn't know that was a thing, but it sounds fun.
Oh yeah. And anytime a band's like, we're coming to your city and we're playing this album in its entirety, I'm like, absolutely. That's the coolest concert to go to. Cause it's like, I know it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. I used to live in Vegas, and we would get all of these bands that really didn't tour anymore, or, were older bands, and they would come and play their stuff. And it was always so much fun because it was stuff from, when I was in high school or junior high that you just know it, and it's just so great.
And they're nailed, like they're going to play it exactly the way everyone remembers it, because that's how they make their money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people are like, what the hell is this? Like, who is this? Who's Sugartown, or what's the name of the band? Who sings Butterfly? I was just trying to think of the name of the band. I said it the other day, and I'm like, oh, like O-Town or something like that. I don't remember. But
I think it is Sugar something, but I don't think it's Town. I don't know.
It's not Sugar Ray. Anyway, that band. I hope somebody like on here knows the "Come My Lady, Come My Lady." All right, that song. Anyway, like if you went and saw that, but they like changed it completely, you'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Crazy Town.
This is Crazy Town. That's it.
I thought the sugar was right. It was the Town. Thank you.
Town. Thank you. So, like that is that. I mean, like if you went and saw that, you'd be like, "What am I listening to? This is so dumb." And I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know where we're going with this, but
I don't know. That's okay.
Do we have to do you take questions or something?
We can. If anybody has questions, we definitely can take questions. So, like I said before, I think some of you missed the part where we were actually talking about where we were actually on topic, where we were talking about the emails. And then I kind of had Matt sum up. But if you guys have any questions, I mean, what did we cover today? We covered, email marketing a little bit. We talked about affiliate sales through Amazon. And we talked about collecting email. We talked about, we talked about Crazy Town. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. So,
yep, Crazy Town.
But if you guys have any questions, I would love to take questions. Interrupt us, but I'm going to let Matt finish up here if you guys don't have questions. So, Matt, tell us where can we find your stuff, or where would you like us to go to find out more about you?
Moneylab.co.
Okay. So, and guys, I want to put a link in Blab. Last week and every other week that I've done this, it worked. And today it didn't. Actually, let me see if I can do it real quick, because maybe, although you're the co-host, so you should
just drop it in like the green button.
It worked when I did it, right?
Yeah, see, there's that. Can I drag this? No.
Well,
you can have like multiple seats?
Yeah. You can have 4 people.
Oh.
Yeah, it can be a lot of fun. It's kind of like, I feel like it's got the vibe of Google Hangout a little bit, but it's better because it's not like I get like seasick when I'm on Google Hangout, because people are like,
oh, because it changes.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get dizzy or something. Mm-hmm. But here it's static. I like that, and I like that people can kind of come in and almost eavesdrop a little bit, but they can join if they want. Like, they can sit on the side and comment. They can come and join, and I kind of like it. So I like Blab. I hope you liked your first Blab.
Yeah, this is fun.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Good. Glad it was fun. So Matt's link is in there, guys. Go check it out. And also, I'm going to put his the page that we were actually talking about. Let me put that in here too. Although, oh no. Hold on, I'm having a tough time getting it now. Or did I? Is that the one put in there?
No, it's moneylab.co/email.
Email. Okay, I'm going to put that one in there too. And this is the page, guys, if you want to check this out and join his list too, because he does give, if you're interested in making money online, like you can walk through the challenges with him when he tries to do whatever he's doing. Like he was talking about, it might be random. Like,
yeah.
Gonna do an album, and that's gonna be cool. And I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun though, because the stuff is funny and entertaining. But it's also interesting. Like, I like going through your sponsorship challenge. I went back and looked at all that. And even though you didn't make anything, I was like, I didn't know how to do that. So I liked seeing the process. You know?
And that's just the way I did it. I don't know. I mean,
right. I want to let you go here in a minute, but I wanted to make one point and it just came up again. I really like that, okay, so I'm very analytical and I come from academia. So I used to teach, and that, like, I'm very I like to see a very large sample size. And so when I first jumped into online marketing, and I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me because you one time did this one thing that this is like the way to do it? This seems very like we're blocking out a whole lot of options here, like without even exploring. And I would get kind of upset about that. So I really like that you're just like, I'm going to do this other thing and we'll see what happens. So,
well, and to go on that, I know people who have written articles in the podcasting world, you get this a lot, but they've written articles like, here's how to get the top of iTunes. Like, you can get to here's how I did it. And they tell you, like, go do this, go do that, go do this. And it's like, and then 2 weeks later, they're not the top of iTunes anymore because they were in the new and noteworthy, iTunes bump. And I'm like, you just wrote an article like teaching people how to do just the dumbest shit ever. And it's not even correct. And
it's always just tactical. Like, it's like, how do you get to the top of iTunes? Well, you record your podcast and then you upload it onto the iTunes feed. And it's like, there's no like real strategy behind like what actually, that's what I feel anyway.
Yeah. And so that's the thing is, I don't want to be an authority on this. I don't want to be. I just want to do it and go, I did it. This is how I did it. If you want to follow it, go ahead. But I'm sure there's better ways to do this. And even in like when I do the writing, I never say like, I think people should do this because I never say that, because I'll just say, like, I did this. Here's why my brain chose to use Gumroad rather than like some other website. like Stripe. Like, why didn't I use just like I'm using Gumroad because I sat down with myself and decided I needed the easiest thing in the world to get up online. Yeah. That's it. It's like, that's all. And that's maybe not the direction you'll take. And I don't, and that's the thing when people email me, I haven't had to do this yet because no one has emailed me and said, what do you think of my business idea? Or, what are your thoughts on, email marketing? And I go, I don't have any, I have thoughts, but I'm not going to I'm just going to say, here's what I do. Go do it for yourself and then tell me how it works out, because I don't know. Like, it could work for me. It could work on Swim University. Like, what works on Swim University doesn't even work on Roasty. So like, how can I be an authority to say, and also like when it comes to email marketing, to go back to that, because he talked about doing autoresponders and doing, like subject lines. My theory with subject lines are, I don't care. It's like, I could multi-test a bunch of different things, and every single time I send an email, it's going to be a different result. And here's the only thing that I try to do with email headlines is for Money Lab, which is different. For Money Lab, I try to make it super short and to make you want to know what the email is about. So I just need you to click in. So I'll write something like, here's what I did, ... It'll be a subject line. Because it's like, oh, what did he do? Or, it's live. Well, what's live? Click it. It's just like super short. That's it. And I just think of, okay, well, I don't want to tell them what it is because I want them to click it and read what it is. And so I just make it ominous, I guess. Swim University, I tell them exactly what it is in the title. I say, how to get rid of ducks in your pool. It's totally different. And I'm sure I could do it another way, but it's like, no, it's just the easiest thing for me to do. And it gets okay open rates, I guess. I don't even know if you can trust open rates. So, because it's like pixel tracking and people open it different ways. I don't know. So if anyone asks me to share, like, I will share my thoughts, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's go do it. And you tell me, like, should I quit my job and make money online? Yeah, go ahead, go do it and tell me what happens. Like, I'm not going to say no, and here's why I think you shouldn't, and here's all the reasons why, but no, go ahead. Like, you clearly want me to say go ahead.
Yeah.
Because you just want my permission, and that's fine. And I'll tell you that, and I'll be honest, but, that's it.
But maybe everyone listening to this, that's not always the best advice.
No.
that's not telling you to go do that.
No. My advice
or maybe is. I don't know.
My advice is go do something. Just, go do something and tell me about it. If you want to tell me about it after you're done doing it, great. Otherwise, like, I'm not going to predict the future. I cannot predict the future. No one else is going to predict the future. That's it.
Yeah. I think that's a good message.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. But thank you, everybody, for coming. If you did miss more of the meat of the conversation, like I said, go ahead and back and watch the replay. So if you follow me or just head back to my channel, which is blab.im/clearinfluence, then you can see all of the shows are still up. And this one will be up in like a few minutes as soon as we log out of here. So
sweet.
All right. So Matt, thank you so much. It was fun.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to follow you and see what other challenges are coming up. So I'm excited to see what you have coming.
Sweet.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.